Ever start writing a story and feel like it slowly breaks down the longer you work on it? That's exactly why Novelium exists. And no, it's not another AI tool trying to take over your story. Novelium keeps you fully in control while catching the issues that derail drafts. Plot holes, pacing problems, timeline slips, and character mistakes. It's like having a story editor beside you while your voice stays untouched. Everything feels cleaner, clearer, and easier to finish. Start using Novelium today and get your first month free with code PODCAST at novelium.so. That's novelium.so with code PODCAST.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles McKenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip: when it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Arr, fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
This is Optimal Work Daily: Inventory Management and How to Handle Cash Flow for an Online Store, Part 2, by Steve Chu of MyWifeQuitHerJob.com. Lesson number 4. Don't rely on Amazon as your only sales channel. Besides worrying about taxes, there's also a lot of risk if you rely on Amazon as your only channel. In our previous example, we decided to invest $200K on inventory based on Amazon's current sales projections. Our products are flying off the shelves, and we don't want to run out. But let's say that we run out of inventory well before the next shipment arrives. Well, guess what? Our sales rank on Amazon will tank. And even though we have $200K in inventory on its way, there's no guarantee that our sales velocity will recover. In fact, this has happened to many of my colleagues. They place a large order based on current projections, only to find that sales have tanked and are slow to recover by the time they've received their inventory. Even worse, I've had friends who have gotten their listings or accounts banned after placing huge orders with their vendors. All it takes is one accidental bad batch of goods and a small string of negative feedback to put your listing in danger. And guess what? You're if you don't have another platform to sell your goods. This is why having your own web property is so important. In fact, I would not be as confident placing large orders with my vendors if I didn't make the majority of sales on my own site. After all, no one can ban me, and my sales are very predictable from year to year. And lesson number 5, be conscious of your growth. Over the years, I've witnessed many e-commerce entrepreneurs who've gotten completely carried away with feeding the machine. And here's the thing, when you're making sales at an exponential rate, you need to dig deep and remember why you started your business in the first place. Was it to improve your lifestyle? Or was it to rip your hair out and lose sleep investing large sums of money on inventory? Do you value your free time? And is growing exponentially worth the monetary risk? Expanding any business quickly always causes a ton of added stress. Recently, my wife told me that she longed for the good old days when our business was only making low 6 figures. Why? It's because things were much easier then. We just had a single employee. Inventory costs were low. We didn't have much overhead and everything was pretty chill. And most importantly, we were already making enough money to fund our lifestyle. But the problem was that we never saw eye to eye on this. I always wanted to expand. However, after going through the pain of moving offices and seeing our overhead costs and inventory investments continue to rise year after year, I've started to see things from her point of view. Every aspect of growth causes stress and additional risk. Every employee that you hire, every new product that you introduce, every square foot that you invest in your office. Growth is exciting and challenging, but it's also addictive and all-consuming, so it's important to set some boundaries. Are you ready to start an e-commerce business? Bottom line, you need to understand what you're getting into before starting an inventory-based e-commerce business. If you're not careful, things can quickly escalate into a situation where you have to constantly invest more and more money for product and starve your cash flow even if you're killing it. If the goal of your e-commerce business is to improve your lifestyle, I encourage you to take some money off the table and control your growth. Don't be so focused on making larger bets than you're comfortable with. Where I draw the line. Today, I'm very mindful of anything that could potentially cause unneeded stress. Even if sales at Bumblebee Linens were to hockey stick, I would be very reluctant to take out a loan to fund the inventory. I have no desire to scale the number of employees we have. In fact, I'm currently working on ways to reduce headcount by leveraging our manufacturers to do more of the heavy lifting. Instead of increasing the number of SKUs that we carry, I'm looking to drop the slow movers and focus on the winners. In a nutshell, I'm spending my time on activities that make life easier, even if it's at the expense of short-term revenue growth. I know some of you are shaking your heads at these statements. After all, isn't the goal of a business to expand and take over the world? Don't get me wrong, I haven't gone soft, and I still plan on growing my businesses, but I want to do so at a very controlled clip. Growing a business at a steady, manageable pace is fun and relaxing. Trying to blow things up as quickly as you can? Not so much. You just listened to part 2 of the post titled Inventory Management and How to Handle Cash Flow for an Online Store by Steve Chu of mywifequitherjob.com. And thanks again to Steve. One thing I didn't mention yesterday is that he also started his own podcast. It is called the My Wife Quit Her Job Podcast with Steve Chu, and it's all about entrepreneurs who quit their jobs to start successful online businesses, just like Steve and his wife did. Through a series of personal interviews, Steve uncovers the exact strategies that led to their success. Again, it's called the My Wife Quit Her Job Podcast with Steve Chu, and you can find that wherever you get your podcasts. And that's going to do it for today. Hope you enjoyed part 2 of this post from Steve and that you're having a great day. And I'll be back again with you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.